This video contains heavy spoilers for the ending of Brand New Day, so if you haven't watched it yet, stop right now and come back later. The ending of this movie opened 5 new doors. Peter didn't cure the mutation, and Jean Grey could be the beginning of an entire X-Men saga within the MCU. Today, the ending of Brand New Day, with absolutely no spoilers held back. Hey guys! The ending of Brand New Day left a lot of loose ends. It was almost an episodic movie, you know? It introduced a bunch of future storylines for the MCU. Jean Grey's fate, the reason Ned broke Doctor Strange's spell, and the fact that Peter didn't cure the mutation. So we are going to get more chapters of this transformation. On top of that, the ending brought an essence to Tom Holland Spider-Man that he had never had before. Let's start with a point I think is fundamental. Unlike a good portion of the other heroes, especially the X-Men, Spider-Man in the comic books was never hated. He is the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Trustworthy, loved, it's always been like that. Except that side of him had never truly shown up in the MCU. Pay attention to this because it changes everything. In Civil War, Peter was an almost unknown kid, dressed in whatever he could find to fight at the airport. In his first movie, he was a rookie, just starting his career. In the second, he wasn't even in his neighborhood, he was in Europe. In the third, he was being hated, accused of killing Mysterio, with his identity exposed and J. Jonah Jameson bashing him every day. In other words, this friendly neighborhood element was almost non-existent until now.
And here comes the turning point. Unlike the last few movies, which always ended on a cliffhanger or with something bad happening, this one ends in a more mature way, with the people of New York recognizing Spider-Man's hard work and dedication. And that is emblematic, because Peter had just lost Aunt May and his very own identity as Peter Parker. So the question remains, who is going to be there for him now? And the answer is beautiful. The Punisher was there. The neighborhood was there for its friendly neighbor. It is a really beautiful moment, man. It gives you chills. It genuinely moves you. And it's important because for a good chunk of the movie, Peter acts almost on autopilot. He became a workaholic, taking all his personal frustration out on being Spider-Man. This ending is when he finally sees the fruits of his own labor, remembering that he is there not just out of responsibility, but because it brings real hope to people.
This really reminded me of a scene from the comic books, when Peter is depressed on a beach and a practically divine being appears and shows him everyone he has ever saved in his life. That happens specifically in Sensational Spider-Man Volume 2, number 40, a comic where he ends up meeting the one above all. I couldn't help but mention this comic book because I felt the exact same vibe between both scenes. If this moment also caught you off guard like it caught us, drop a like right now. This kind of analysis, full of details and grounded in facts, deserves to reach more people. Another huge element for Peter's development in this movie was him stopping the use of the inhibitor and fully accepting the mutation once and for all. This genetic alteration works as an analogy for the transition from puberty to adulthood, and I will break that down carefully in the full analysis video that is still coming up, so stay tuned to the channel. Except, in practice, this means the MCU's Spider-Man now has an amplified mutation, much stronger, with super senses, organic webbing, and his eyes slowly turning black. He is becoming a real spider, slowly. I actually thought this plotline was going to be completely resolved in this movie, precisely because it is the movie featuring the Punisher, showcasing this transformation. It is literally the arc of a classic episode from the 90s Spider-Man animated series, with the Punisher also involved. A hell of an episode if you have never seen it. And it was set up as a hook for the next movie. I think it makes total sense, considering Kevin Feige already said the X-Men won't be just one movie. They will be an entire saga, a whole phase of the MCU. And Jean Grey was the first chapter of that saga. This movie already carries mutation themes all over the place. Her final scene is her leaving on a bus, passing by some trees in an autumn vibe. And the impression I got was that she was heading to Salem Center, which is where the Xavier mansion is located. Maybe we will see Peter and Jean reunite in the next movie,
and she might be the one who finally introduces him to the X-Men.
And there is a very specific comic book route for this human spider transformation. The first time it appeared in the comics was in The Amazing Spider-Man issue 437, a story that even brings in Sync, a mutant from Generation X. It's a comic book full of mutant references and cameos, with mutation as the central theme, and a good part of the fight takes place down below, in the sewers. If you want to read the origin of all this before the next movie comes out, this issue of Amazing Spider-Man 437 is available on Amazon and in the YouTube store down below. It is highly worth the read to arrive sharp. And look, I will just give my 2 cents. You can really extrapolate this next movie with themes of social acceptance, self-image, appearance, being different. These are the exact same identity dilemmas that teenagers face in real life, and that have always been the foundation of the prejudice against mutants in the comic books. There is a lot of possible connection between Spider-Man's rogues gallery and this new mutant phase. Hello, Marvel, if you are watching, there is the theme for your next blockbuster. Call me. Now, the topic that generated the most discussion this week, the Ned scene. He remembered Peter because of their special handshake. Except this needs to have a real reason, one that is explored in the upcoming movies. The theory I stand by is that Ned has a magical predisposition, something that was already sort of planted in No Way Home, when it was him, Ned, who opened the portal and located Tobey's Peter almost unconsciously. Remember that even Doctor Strange himself had trouble opening a portal at the beginning of his training? So you could say Ned is a potential prodigy. Now, if the real reason is just friendship is beautiful, a special handshake beat the spell, with no magical explanation behind it, man, that is garbage. Seriously. And I'll tell you why. The movie had already messed with exactly this issue earlier, in the rooftop scene. Peter thought a passionate kiss was going to make MJ remember everything and break the spell. It didn't work. Jean Grey shows up there as a reality check for Spider-Man, showing that he was living a fairy tale in his head. And it is one of the best scenes in the movie because it gives real emotional weight to the situation. It is no longer that naive teenage Peter thinking puppy love solves everything. Choices have consequences. The decisions from the previous movie had real consequences. That is what makes this movie work so well. It is what makes it truly mature.
And that is exactly why Ned's final scene bothers me a little bit, because it shows the exact thing happening that the movie itself had just said couldn't happen. So I really hope there is a magical reason behind this, and not just pure feelings. Actually, I hope this serves for Ned's future development, because in the comic books, he isn't just Peter's friend, he is also the Hobgoblin, after being brainwashed. Maybe that is how Marvel resolves this. Keep the friendship between the two and still bring this classic villain to the big screen later on. If you also miss this kind of heavyweight villain coming straight out of the comic books, there is a classic Hobgoblin collection on Amazon and in the YouTube store. I'll leave the link down below. Did you like this potential villain? Did it match what you felt watching the scene? Comment down below because I am reading everything. And that is it, guys. A lot to digest in this ending, right? Stay tuned because Marvel is on fire this week. There is more content coming. If this analysis helped you better understand the ending, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss anything. Thanks everyone. See you next time.